squeaky chair. Hello, hello. Welcome to Meditation Nerd. All right, so today's naked pause is a practice that I actually learned while taking one of Gloria Latham's courses. In one of them, I forget which one, she has us think of a word that we want to define our year, so to speak, whether it's something that we want to release, something that we want to focus on, maybe a challenge, a strength, that type of thing. And the one word that I went with was suffering. And the way that I clarified that within myself was to allow healing to diffuse my body so that the two were inextricably linked, right? So that I set a clear boundary that this is about healing suffering. Healing was too vague of a word. It felt like that's okay, well, healing what? Uh, Suffering is kind of the undergirding of basically everything I'm doing here. I don't want it to just open a floodgate of suffering. I wanted to make a clear boundary that I'm looking to heal my suffering. So I diffused my body and the word with how healing feels within my body while I thought the word suffering. I haven't really changed that since that initial, I think that was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. That seems to be the main goal that I want to focus on, that I want to continue to keep working towards. That's my focus overall. The way I see it is everything comes to that and from that, right? My actions are stemming from suffering or they're stemming from empowerment, right? So that's just my line of thinking on that. So that's where I'm at with my word choice for each year, basically. If that needs to be changed, I will change it. For now, that's where I'm coming from. So I wanted to bring that practice here for our naked pause. I am going to add a couple of extra things here to that practice. So I just kind of wanted to give an outline of how I did this, how I adapted it from the outline that Gloria initially gave us, while I'm still honoring the request of it being one word. Um, it kind of encapsulates everything. So I infused it with, like I said, the feeling of healing, right? How that feels within my body while thinking the words so that the two kind of met and swirled together so that they're not separated. So that being said, I want you to go ahead and soften your gaze, close your eyes, whatever you would like to do here. Go ahead and take a couple deep breaths in while you think of a word that you would like. And yours can be just something that defines your March or maybe 6 months. Maybe it is a full year. So allow that to unfold as well. If you want it to be a full year or start with and allow it to adapt as you go, that's perfectly fine as well. And we're just going to take a couple deep breaths here. And no pressure, just open yourself up to what your one word would be. And feel free to adapt it the way I did, infuse it with a feeling of. So if you have a word that could be interpreted as vague and you want another feeling to be infused with it, that's perfectly fine as well. I mean, it worked really well for me, so it could also potentially work well for you. And again, no pressure here. Just let what's arising arise, and then notice what's happening in your body. So if there's a word that pops into your mind, I'm going to go with a generic piece, right? Notice how that feels in your body. Does it feel aligned? Are you feeling any pressure? Are you feeling anxiety? Is there like a closing off of any part of your body? Because that may be an indication that you need to either adjust it or refine it. Maybe that's not the right word at all. So just also notice what's happening in your body. And it's also okay if you're just getting vague outlines right now. That's perfect. Vague outlines are a great way to start as well. And of course, please honor your boundaries. Don't go any deeper than you can handle or that your intuition or your body are saying is appropriate for you right here, right now. Okay. One more breath here. Perfect. And then with your one word or your vague outline, depending on where you are, okay, I want you to think of one action that you can take today, something that's within your control. Okay, it can be something tiny, it can be writing it down, right? It can be allowing the vague outlines to become clearer for you. It can be taking a concrete step, making a phone call, writing a letter, or an email, I guess would be more appropriate in this context. You get what I'm saying, though. What's one action step that you can take? And it can be today, it can be within the week, it can be within the month, that type of thing. And this isn't the whole journey, this is just the initial step. Couple more breaths here. Okay. And then for the challenge portion of this, it's okay. So I want you to also consider a possible challenge that could intercept your ability to follow this one word to what you want to accomplish. Now, there are two sides to this that I do want to point out. There could be challenges within yourself. I know I am incredibly obstinate when it comes to opening my heart. That is my own inside inner challenge, right? We all have an inner critic. These are challenges to consider, absolutely. We do need to allow for these. We do need to work around these, right? Until we can heal them, let them go, break through them, whatever the case is. I want you to also consider a challenge that is outside of yourself. It could be a systemic problem, it could be an injustice problem, right? There are outside forces that no amount of breath work on our part is going to stop, is going to dismantle, is going to shut down, right? And this is a fundamental reality. Meditation is vital, in my opinion, to helping us stay present. Staying present does not equate to doing nothing. Doesn't mean we numb out. It doesn't mean we don't see what's happening. It means that our nervous system does need a safe place to replenish, to rest, to be able to continue. So I do want to make a point that I want you to consider not just your inner critic or internal blocks, okay? Do Having an awareness of those is also positive here. It's also helpful, it's also needed. We also do need to take into account that not every single challenge is internal, nor is it our fault, nor does it begin with us, right? There are systemic issues. There are systems outside of us that will block what we're doing. Okay, so I want you to think about not just the inner critic, also make note of that, and then consider the outside challenges. Okay, and we will take a couple minutes here to notice what some of these outside of ourselves challenges could be. And then if it's a case of, is there a way to remove it? Do I need to allow for it? How do I work with it or move around it, right? Couple more breaths here. not to dwell, just to give ourselves a wider view. One more breath. Okay, perfect. And then just carry these lightly with you. The word of the step, the challenge. This wasn't necessarily about solving anything today. It was more a way to be more intentional with how we want our practice to unfold, what it is that we're looking to accomplish with our practice, whether it's, just a month to see how it goes, it's 6 months, it's a year, whatever the case may be. And as you can see, I've been carrying this forward for a couple of years now. God, it might be like 3 or 4, I think. Anyway, the point being that some of this is going to be an ongoing process. It's not just, one and done type thing. So I kind of wanted to speak to both angles of those. And I know that that can feel disheartening sometimes when we feel like our practices should be doing something that they're not. This was very helpful for me as far as seeing just where my practice showed up the strongest, where I felt it wasn't showing up at all, and then just kind of neutral territory. Um, and then I go back and forth between the neutral and the no show and to see where I can tweak it. A lot of the times I'm going to use mantras in those places because that helps me really anchor in um, and connect with what exactly needs to happen in those areas. That's just my own personal approach. Take what works for you, leave what doesn't. Feel free to play with any of these ideas that I shared. They're meant to be adapted to what you're going through and what works best for you. Um, and then this was just another way to, you know, approach your practice. See if this helps you, kind of gives you outlines or helps you define your year, in a way that's more meditative instead of, I guess, traditionally outlined. I guess like what is it that we do the first of the year? A lot of people do the resolutions, right? This is just a different approach to that, but I guess you could say that there's a correlation. At least there is in my head. Hopefully that makes sense outside of my head. So anyway, the point being that if nothing came up immediately, feel free or don't please don't stress out about it. Feel free to allow it to just kind of unfold as it needs to, as it wants to. And if nothing shows up, maybe this isn't the practice that you need, or maybe you don't resonate with this offering, and that's okay too. That's also a point of reference for you to know where your practice shows up more strongly, right? So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.